Today, we're digging into the absolutely wild story of a 25-year-old who, with literally zero legal experience, built an AI company that's now valued at more than $500 million.
Right, so how on earth does that happen? Let's get into it. This is an incredible story of disruption, smart strategy, and what it looks like when you transform one of the oldest professions on the planet.
So where does a story like this even begin? Well, you might think it's in a fancy law office or a courtroom, but nope. It starts with a really tedious summer job and a technological explosion that changed everything.
You've got to understand what the world looked like before generative AI. Legal tech was, well, it was a mess. A super fragmented space with all these kind of unsexy tools that only did one little thing. You had one for templates, another for translation, another for redlining. And the big problem? The early AI was just awful at understanding the complicated, unstructured language you find in legal documents. The founder, a guy named Max Strand, saw this problem up close. One of his co-founder's friends literally spent an entire summer just manually summarizing court cases. I mean, can you imagine? What a pain point, right? And then, boom, in late 2022, GPT 3.5 drops for developers, and it just completely changes the game. All of a sudden, here's this incredibly powerful new tool that could solve that exact problem.
So they saw this huge opportunity, and it led to this fundamental breakthrough in how legal AI could actually work.
Okay, so here's the absolute genius of what they built. It's all about flipping the process on its head. The old way, during due diligence, lawyers had to go into these data rooms and read hundreds of contracts one by one. It's slow, it's expensive, it's totally linear. Legora, they made it parallel. The AI reads all of those documents at the exact same time.
And this is how they did it. This is the magic trick. This system takes all that messy, unstructured legal jargon and transforms it into clean, structured data you can actually ask questions to. So you can ask 100 agreements at once, hey, which of you have an IP clause? And instantly, bam, you get this perfect table with yes, no, yes, all with direct citations. A task that used to take days now takes minutes. It's insane.
This really gets to their core philosophy. They wanted to be like Cursor, which is an AI tool that plugs right into a programmer's existing workflow. Legora does the exact same thing, but for lawyers. It brings the AI directly into their main tool, Microsoft Word. It's a brilliant strategy. You meet the professionals exactly where they already are.
But, building the tech is only half the battle. Now they had to face this huge challenge. How do you sell this revolutionary new thing to one of the most change-resistant industries on the entire planet?
And yeah, the legal world was skeptical, to say the least. This quote from the managing partner of the biggest law firm in the Nordics just says it all. AI was more artificial than intelligent. And you can't really blame them, right? A lot of these firms have been burned before, spending a ton of money on tech that just didn't deliver. But get this, Max manages to get a meeting with that exact same partner. He has them type a really complex legal query into Legora, and when a perfect, fully cited answer comes back in seconds, the partner had what Max calls an aha moment. In that instant, all that skepticism just melted away.
And this is the core reason why the technology became impossible to ignore. In a market like law, a lot of firms offer pretty similar services at similar prices. It's stable. But then a disruptor comes along. One firm adopts a tool that makes them way faster and way cheaper. So what happens? Clients start jumping ship. And suddenly adopting this new tech isn't just a cool advantage. It's a matter of survival.
So the big question remains, how did a 25-year-old with no legal background crack this code?
While his whole strategy started with one number, 100. That's how many lawyers he decided he was going to interview. Not 10, not 20. He committed to 100 deep conversations to really, truly understand their world and their biggest frustrations.
He had this brilliant little strategy he called the lunch hack. He'd find lawyers on LinkedIn, ask them to lunch, and then, get this, he'd offer to pay them their full, and I mean full, expensive hourly rate for their time. It showed so much respect for their expertise that, you know what? Not a single one of them actually made him pay. They were just happy that someone was finally, genuinely listening.
He basically weaponized his ignorance. He turned his lack of experience into this huge advantage. By being humble and just admitting, hey, I don't know this world, he could ask these really fundamental questions, the why questions that people inside the bubble stop asking. And that let him build the product hand in hand with his very first customers. And this strategy, this deep obsession with the customer, and led to absolutely explosive growth and a completely new vision for what the legal profession could be.
And boy, did that customer focus pay off. Right after graduating from the famous startup accelerator YCombinator, the team's growth was just nuts. In a little over a year, they went from 10 people to 100 people, a tenfold increase. And they were quickly expanding from their home base in Stockholm to open up new hubs in New York and London. Now, that kind of growth, it needs fuel. And investors definitely took notice. They poured a massive $80 million Series B funding round into the company. It was this huge vote of confidence that validated their entire approach in a market that most people thought was impossible to change. And this is the real takeaway here. This is why this whole story matters so much. AI isn't replacing lawyers. Not at all. It's transforming their role. They're shifting from being the doer, the person grinding away on manual tasks, to being the reviewer, the strategic manager of AI agents that are doing all that heavy lifting.
A partner at a firm in Spain gave this incredible example. He said he was using Legora live, in court, querying the other side's evidence in real time and finding contradictions while the other lawyer was still talking. It's not just a back-office efficiency tool. It's a competitive weapon on the battlefield.
So you see, the lawyer of the future is an AI manager. And as this technology seeps into literally every single profession, this story is kind of a blueprint. It shows us the biggest change isn't just about the cool new tools we get to use. It's about how we redefine what our jobs even are. The future isn't about you being replaced by AI. It's about you learning how to lead it. So the question is, what will your future AI coworker look like?